Hey, it's Animac here for AnimeUproar, and today we will be talking about the latest crazy twists in the 7 Deadly Sins story. But before we get into it, I want to give a huge thank you to Shadowverse for sponsoring this video. Shadowverse is an anime-inspired epic fantasy card game that features beautiful art and animation. I really enjoyed the music and excellent voice acting both in English and in Japanese for those of you who are weebs like me. This game has over 1 million daily players and a vibrant, fun-loving global community, and most important of all, this game has quality elf waifus that you can't help but love. Shadowverse allows you to play the fully voiced story mode or to battle opponents from around the world in real time. The innovative gaming mechanics allow you to plan and strategize as you face off against enemies in epic battles. And the more you win, the more awesome awards you get. The game is very generous to its players. You get 50 free card packs just for completing the tutorial. Shadowverse is free to play on mobile and PC, so definitely check it out for yourself, link in the description. There's always something new happening with the game, and as a huge fan of One Punch Man, I was stoked to see that Shadowverse is running a One Punch Man collaboration between May 20th and June 20th. During this collaboration, heroes from One Punch Man will appear as leaders in Shadowverse, which is extremely cool. Check it out right now, it's free to play and a lot of fun, link in the description. And of course, this video will include manga spoilers. We're dealing with the latest developments in the story, so please proceed with caution, you have been warned. After the shocking revelation that the Demon King is back and that he is now using his younger son Zeldris as a vessel, Chapter 313 of the 7 Deadly Sins manga throws in more surprising twists and turns as it sets up another major showdown between Meliodas and the Demon King. There is actually a lot that happened in this chapter beyond just the Demon King plotline. And we got some pretty unexpected and crazy reveals about Escanor, the Mother of Chaos, and Arthur frickin' Pendragon of Camelot. I just knew that we haven't heard the last of Arthur, but let's start at the beginning. The chapter starts off with Escanor and Hawk rushing to Leonis to warn everyone that the Demon King is back. As King Bartra, Hauser, Griamore, and the others rush to warn and evacuate the civilians to safety, we see something that I wasn't expecting at all. Escanor is greatly exhausted as a result of the journey to the capital, and he begins to cough. He calls out to Mael, crying, "If my voice can reach you, then please once more lend me your strength before it's too late." We then see that Escanor is coughing up blood, and lots of it. This is a clear indication that something is seriously wrong with Escanor. His body appears to be breaking down for some reason, and we can safely assume that the fact that he gave up the power of sunshine is directly connected to this. And let's be clear, this is definitely foreshadowing that Escanor's life is likely in grave danger, and that he may actually die if he doesn't get sunshine back. I am really concerned for Escanor now, and I am wondering what is going to happen next. Is Escanor calling out to Mael to ask Mael to help the Sins? Or is he calling out Mael to ask him to give sunshine back to him? We know that Escanor never wanted the power of sunshine, and in his nighttime form he often refers to the power as a curse. But would Escanor be willing to sacrifice his own life in the name of getting rid of sunshine for good? Or would he be willing to take sunshine back in order to save his life? Whenever a character starts coughing up so much blood in an anime or manga, it is always an indication that something is seriously wrong. But I truly hope that this is just another troll by Nakaba Suzuki and that Escanor won't actually die before the series ends. Please let me know what you guys think about this whole Escanor scene. Is he going to ask Mael to give sunshine back? Is he going to recover? Or was this scene foreshadowing that Escanor might actually die? Let me know down in the comments. Meanwhile, Hawk goes to his mama and asks her to help the Sins fight the Demon King now that he has been revived once again. However, Mama Hawk apparently replies that she is sleepy. Then Hawk's mama, who we know is the Mother of Chaos, finally communicates directly as she says to Hawk that the balance has been utterly destroyed and soon the king will be born. Hawk screams in confusion, saying that the Demon King has already come back to life and this is no time to be sleeping. But the king that Mama Hawk is talking about is not the Demon King. As she is speaking, inside her eye we see Arthur Pendragon of Camelot still being pierced by the legendary sword Excalibur. We've all been wondering about Arthur and whether he was really dead, and I've always said that we haven't seen the last of him. After all, the 7 Deadly Sins is based on Arthurian legend, and the main character of Arthurian legend is of course King Arthur. I think that this vision that we see of Arthur at this particular point in the story constitutes a clear indication that Arthur will indeed return in some capacity. We have not seen the last of Arthur, because if we had, then this whole scene would be completely pointless. And how about the fact that we actually had Hawk's mama using words for the very first time? While she has done some epic things in the main series like swallowing Monspeed's Hellfire Bird Attack, it was only in the 7 Deadly Sins movie called Prisoners of the Sky that we learned a lot more about Hawk's mama, including the fact that she is actually the legendary creature known as the Mother of Chaos, who is the mother of all the creatures from Purgatory. While I personally think that the revelations from the movie are relevant to the main story, there are a lot of people who consider the Prisoners of the Sky movie to be completely irrelevant to the main storyline. However, it is now confirmed that Hawk's mama is capable of communicating with Hawk directly, and it is clear that Hawk's mama was conveying some sort of vision or prophecy about King Arthur. The fact that the balance has been utterly destroyed probably refers to all the natural disasters and the fact that Meliodas is still in the mortal plane. But what does "soon the king will be born" mean? Is Arthur about to be reincarnated due to the power of Excalibur? Or is he going to be somehow revived in his original body? If Arthur does somehow come back, I can only assume that he will be a lot more powerful than he used to be, but the question remains is what kind of role a revived Arthur would play in the story. Personally, I never thought that Arthur truly died. I was expecting him to show up again at some point. However, chapter 313 seems to confirm that Arthur did indeed die, but he may now be reincarnated or revived in some way. Also, what's all this stuff about the Mother of Chaos being sleepy? Is something wrong with her, and if so, why? Is her fatigue somehow related to the fact that the balance has been destroyed? Let me know down in the comments. I am really curious to see what everyone thinks about the whole Hawk's mama and Arthur stuff from this chapter. We then learn that the Demon King is waiting for Elizabeth and Meliodas near the magic lake of Salisbury, which has the highest concentration of magic power in Britannia. The Demon King chose that location because he is trying to recover his power and fully assimilate his new vessel as soon as possible. Both the Demon King and the Sins were injured and badly weakened during the previous fight, so recovering will be a top priority for the Demon King. We then see a flashback of the moment that Meliodas decided to betray the Demon Clan and leave the underworld so that he could be with Elizabeth, which happened during the previous Holy War more than 3,000 years ago. Meliodas explains to Zeldris that if the Holy War continues, one day Meliodas, as the leader of the 10 Commandments, will find himself in a situation where he will have to fight against Elizabeth, the love of his life, and he can't possibly allow that to happen. He offers Zeldris a chance to take Gelda, the love of his life, and come with him. But Zeldris refuses to betray the Demon Clan, and he tells Meliodas that he no longer thinks of him as his brother, and that the next time they meet, it will be as enemies. Back in the present, Meliodas remarks to Elizabeth that his proposal to Zeldris was actually foolish because Gelda is a vampire and she could not be expected to permanently leave the underworld. Furthermore, Meliodas' departure placed a ton of pressure on Zeldris. As the substitute leader of the 10 Commandments and the Demon King's other son, he must have felt an immense burden on his shoulders because Zeldris is a man who takes responsibility and obligations very seriously. And before we move on, there is an important detail from the flashback of Meliodas and Zeldris that I need to mention. Two former members of the 10 Commandments, Aranak and Zeno, are present during the exchange between Meliodas and Zeldris, and the flashback ends as Zeldris and Meliodas realize that they are being watched and presumably listened to by Zeno and Aranak. According to the information that we have so far, when he decided to leave the 10 Commandments, Meliodas killed Aranak and Zeno. It is possible that at this moment these two commandments overheard the conversation and decided to try and stop Meliodas from leaving, which led to him having to kill them. It is also possible that something else happened. We saw that even though he wasn't happy about his brother leaving, Zeldris was prepared to let Meliodas go. I wonder if the story we got about Aranak and Zeno being killed by Meliodas is not completely true. I wonder if Zeldris actually helped Meliodas escape by taking on Aranak and Zeno himself, or maybe Aranak and Zeno didn't fight Meliodas at all. Maybe they actually agreed with Meliodas and they decided to leave with him, but Zeldris told the Demon King that they were killed so that no one would go and look for them. Such a turn of events would definitely be interesting because it would mean that high-ranking demons like Aranak and Zeno might still be alive and out there somewhere, but let me know what you guys think. Is the story that we got initially about Meliodas killing Aranak and Zeno true? Or are we about to learn that something else actually happened? Finally, we see that the Demon King is attempting to gain full control of his new vessel by manipulating the consciousness of Zeldris on the inside. As Zeldris' consciousness awakens on the inside, he asks his father to give him back his body. And of course we know that Zeldris wants this freedom so that he can go and rescue Gelda. But the Demon King plays an incredibly vile but also brilliant trick on Zeldris. The Demon King appears to Zeldris in the form of Gelda. Zeldris refuses to believe that this is the real Gelda at first, because Meliodas had told him that he had resealed the real Gelda in Edinburgh. But the fake Gelda tells him that she is real, and she is appearing to Zeldris in spirit form because she is already dead. According to this Gelda, she was actually killed by Meliodas and the 7 Deadly Sins a long time ago, and Meliodas merely told Zeldris the lie about resealing her so that he could manipulate him into helping him become the next Demon King. As he struggles to take all of this in, Zeldris gets some fake vampire ghost Opie action from Gelda, and we see that on the outside, Elizabeth and Meliodas have arrived at Lake Salisbury to face off against the Demon King once again. We are left to wonder whether Zeldris' consciousness will actually accept the Demon King's lies, but regardless of whether Zeldris ultimately sees through it or not, we have to give credit to the Demon King for his devious plan. The two biggest factors that could potentially inspire Zeldris to break the Demon King's control are his brother Meliodas and his lover Gelda. Finding Gelda is Zeldris' main motivation, and he of course cares about his brother Meliodas, and the two brothers have an agreement about rescuing Gelda. The Demon King brilliantly kills two birds with one stone by taking away Zeldris' primary motivation for wanting to be free. He tries to convince Zeldris that Gelda is already dead and she cannot be saved, but the two of them can be together as souls or spirits inside Zeldris' consciousness. On top of that, the Demon King tries to convince Zeldris that it was his brother Meliodas who killed Gelda and manipulated him into thinking that she was still alive. And all this in order to achieve his own supposed ambition of becoming the next Demon King. If successful, this lie will not only convince Zeldris that there is no reason to fight the Demon King's control, but if he actually begins to believe that Meliodas tricked him and killed Gelda, he will likely want to actively help the Demon King fight against Meliodas in order to get revenge. Personally, I don't think that Zeldris will fall for this manipulation in the long run, even though he might slip up and begin to doubt Meliodas at first. But I have to say that everyone who said that the Demon King wasn't a good villain was completely wrong. Not only is the Demon King strong and resilient, he is also very deviously clever, cold, and calculating, which makes him an extremely interesting and entertaining villain in my opinion. The next chapter is going to be called Merciless Salvation, and I can't wait to see where the story will go from here. Not only is this new epic showdown between Meliodas and the Demon King ramping up in a big way, but we also have the other sins fighting the Endura, we have that whole crazy scene with Escanor coughing up blood, and we have the Mother of Chaos and her vision about King Arthur. So much could still happen in this story, and this chapter gave us even more questions rather than resolving old ones, so I can definitely see the story continuing for several arcs at least. But those are my thoughts. Hit me up with your thoughts down in the comments. Don't forget to check out our sponsor, Shadowverse. It's a ton of fun and free to play on mobile and PC. Just click the link in the description. If you enjoy the 7 Deadly Sins content on this channel, you can leave a like to let me know. And if you're new to AnimeUproar, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. And until next time, see ya, Space Cowboys.